Captain Li Wu-jin was drinking his morning coffee when the emergency alarm rang through his ship. The sound made every person on the UES Harmony stop what they were doing. Li put down his cup and walked fast to the bridge. "What is happening?" he asked his crew. Lieutenant Park Sang-ho looked up from his screen. His face was white. "Sir, we are getting a signal from the Velkari Empire. They say it is important for all humans to watch." Li felt something cold in his stomach. The Velkari were not friends with humans. They were big, strong aliens who looked like lizards. They had sharp teeth and yellow eyes. They always said humans were weak and did not belong in space. "Put it on the main screen," Li said. The screen turned on. A Velkari commander appeared. He had dark green skin and scars on his face. Behind him was a small room with metal walls. In the center of the room was a chair, and in that chair was a little girl. Li's hands made fists. The girl looked about 10 years old. She had black hair and was wearing a blue dress. Her hands were tied behind the chair. Her eyes were red from crying. "Humans of the galaxy," the Velkari commander said. His voice was deep and rough. "This is Commander Vexitar of the Velkari Empire. We have something to show you." Dr. Park Sora came running onto the bridge. She was the ship's doctor and knew a lot about children. When she saw the screen, she put her hand over her mouth. "That is Han Yuna," she said quietly. She was on the transport ship New Hope. Her family was going to New Terra Colony. Li felt his heart beating fast. "Where is the transport ship now?" "Gone, sir," Park Sang-ho said. "The Velkari took it 3 days ago. We thought they would ask for money to give it back." On the screen, Commander Vexitar walked closer to the little girl. She looked up at him with scared eyes. "Your people think you are strong," Vexitar said to the camera. "You think you can take our planets and build your little homes there. But you are wrong. Humans are weak. You are soft. You do not belong in space with real warriors." The little girl tried to speak. "Please," she said in a small voice. "I want to go home. I want my mommy." Li felt something break inside his chest. Around the bridge, his crew was making angry sounds. Someone was crying. Vexitar laughed. It was an ugly sound. "Do you hear that? She wants her mommy. This is what humans are, weak little animals who cry for help." The Velkari commander pulled out a long knife. The metal was black and sharp. "No," Dr. Park whispered. "They would not do this. Not to a child." But Vexitar was already moving. The little girl saw the knife and started crying harder. "Please don't hurt me," she said. "I just want to go home. My mommy makes good soup. My daddy reads me stories. Please." Li wanted to turn off the screen. He wanted to close his eyes. But he could not move. None of his crew could move. They all watched in horror. "This is what happens to humans who come to our space," Vexitar said. "This is what happens to weak animals who think they can live with real warriors. What happened next would be remembered forever." The little girl looked right at the camera, right at all the humans watching across the galaxy. "Mommy," she said, "Daddy, I love you. Tell everyone I was brave, okay? Tell them Yuna was brave." Then Commander Vexitar killed her. The screen went black. On the bridge of the Harmony, nobody spoke for a long time. Li could hear his crew breathing hard. Someone was still crying. Someone else was making a low, angry sound. Lieutenant Park broke the silence. "Sir, we are getting messages from all over human space." Everyone saw it. Everyone. Li's hands were shaking. In 30 years of space travel, he had seen many bad things. Wars, accidents, disasters. But nothing like this. Nothing so evil. "What kind of monster kills a child?" Dr. Park asked. Her voice was very quiet. "The kind that does not understand humans," Li said. His communication officer looked up. "Sir, we have a message from Earth Command, Priority 1. Put it through the year." Face of Admiral Choi appeared on a smaller screen. The Admiral was an old man with gray hair. Li had never seen him look angry before. But now his eyes were like ice. "Captain Li, the Admiral said. I trust you saw the broadcast. Yes, sir. We all did. Good. Because I want you to remember every second of it. I want you to remember that little girl's face, her voice, her last words. Lee nodded. He would never forget. Sir, Lee said. What are our orders? Admiral Choi was quiet for a moment. When he spoke again, his voice was different, colder. You are to return to Earth immediately. All human ships are coming home. All human diplomats are leaving alien space. All human traders are closing their stores. Sir, are we running away? The Admiral smiled, but it was not a happy smile. It was the smile of a wolf. Running away? No, Captain. We are coming home to get ready. Ready for what, sir? War. The word hung in the air like thunder. The Velkari think they have taught us fear, Admiral Choi continued. They think killing one of our children will make us weak and scared. They think we will beg them to stop. The Admiral leaned closer to the camera. They are wrong. They have not taught us fear. They have taught us what it means to be truly angry. And they are about to learn why humans have been very careful to be peaceful in this galaxy. Lee felt something change inside him. Something dark and powerful. Around the bridge, he could see the same change in his crew. The sadness was still there. The horror was still there, but now there was something else. Anger. Pure, clean anger. Set course for Earth, Lee told his pilot. Best possible speed. As the Harmony turned toward home, Lee looked at the empty screen where the little girl had died. Han Yu-na. 10 years. Old. She wanted to see the stars. She wanted her mommy and daddy. She asked everyone to remember that she was brave. We will remember, Lee said quietly. And we will make sure the galaxy remembers too. Behind him, Dr. Park was writing in her medical notes. Later, Lee would read what she wrote that day. It was just one line. Today, I watched the last innocent human die. Tomorrow, the galaxy will meet the humans who are left. The Harmony jumped to faster-than-light speed, carrying its crew home to Earth. Home to prepare for war. In the distance, space was quiet and peaceful, but that peace was ending. The Velkari had made their choice. The silence now in the room stretched on for what felt like hours, and the galaxy would never be the same. The aliens processing everything they had learned. Their confident expressions had changed to looks of uncertainty and growing understanding. Finally, Velnari spoke. Her crystal body was now glowing with a soft blue light instead of the bright, proud colors from before. Somin, Velnari said to the screen, I must ask you something important. You said sharks have existed for 400 million years. How is that possible? How did they survive when so many other creatures died? Somin's face lit up with excitement. That's the most amazing part. Sharks survived 5 major extinction events that wiped out most other life on Earth. They lived through ice ages, meteor impacts, volcanic eruptions, and massive climate changes. How? Asked Thrumax, his purple cloud swirling with curiosity. Because they're perfect at their job, Somin explained. Sharks don't just hunt for fun or because they're cruel. Every part of their body and behavior is designed to keep them ocean healthy. They evolved to be exactly what the ocean needed. She changed the video to show different types of sharks. Great white sharks control seal populations. Tiger sharks clean up sick and dead animals. Hammerhead sharks hunt bottom fish that would otherwise destroy seagrass beds. Each type of shark has a specific job. Kiwan stepped forward. Just like different human cultures have different roles in the galaxy. Some humans are explorers, some are soldiers, some are diplomats. But we all serve the same basic purpose. Which is? Asked Quickstall. Keeping the balance, Kiwan said simply. Somin nodded on the screen. Exactly. And here's something that might surprise you. In areas where shark populations are healthy, all other sea life thrives too. The presence of sharks doesn't make the ocean more dangerous. It makes it more alive. The plant alien rustled its leaves thoughtfully. You're saying that predators make life better, not worse? In the right balance, yes, Somin confirmed. Sharks never hunt more than they need. They never kill for sport. They take exactly what The ecosystem can spare, and their presence makes everything else stronger. Kiwan looked around the room. How many of you have worlds that are completely safe? No dangerous weather, no predators, no threats of any kind? Several aliens raised appendages or made sounds of agreement. And how many of your people still feel the need to grow and challenge themselves? Kiwan asked. The aliens looked uncomfortable. Velnari's crystal body flickered. Well, she said slowly, many of our young people seem restless. They often complain that life is too easy. Some even leave our world to seek adventure elsewhere. Our gas clouds often drift away from our safe zones, Thrumax admitted. They say they want to experience something more challenging. The fuzzy ball alien bounced nervously. Many of our children ask why they should learn anything when everything is provided for them. They seem bored. Kiwan nodded. Sharks keep fish populations strong by providing just enough pressure to make them stay alert and healthy. Without that pressure, fish become weak and lazy. Maybe your people need challenges too. So-Min spoke from the screen. I've studied reefs where humans removed all the sharks to make them safer for tourists. The fish in those reefs became sluggish and sick. They lost their natural instincts. When we reintroduced sharks, the fish became lively and healthy again. Are you saying, asked the machine alien, that our perfect, safe worlds might be making our people weak? I'm saying that maybe safe and healthy aren't the same thing, Kiwan replied. Velnari was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, I think I understand now. When we eliminated all challenges from our worlds, we didn't become more advanced. We became like reefs without sharks. Stagnant, added Thrumax quietly. We became stagnant. Kiwan pulled up a new image on the screen. It showed a map of the galaxy with different colored areas. This is a map of galactic civilization. The blue areas are controlled by peaceful species like yourselves. The red areas are dangerous, controlled by aggressive species or filled with natural hazards. The aliens could see that the blue areas were like islands surrounded by vast red oceans. Now look at this, Kiwan said, highlighting certain paths between the blue areas. These are the trade routes, exploration paths, and communication lines that connect your peaceful worlds. Notice anything? The aliens studied the map carefully. Slowly, they began to see the pattern. They all go through red areas, Quickstall said in amazement. And who maintains those routes? Kiwan asked. Deathworlder species, Velnari whispered. That's right, Kiwan confirmed. Species like humans patrol those dangerous areas, fight off by pirates, negotiate with hostile aliens, and keep the paths between your worlds open and safe. So-Min spoke from the screen. It's exactly like how sharks patrol the spaces between coral reefs. They keep the dangerous fish away from the peaceful areas and maintain the connections that allow healthy sea life to spread. Without sharks, Kiwan continued, the reefs become isolated islands that eventually die. Without Deathworlders, your peaceful civilizations would become isolated islands that would eventually stagnate and fade. The room fell into another long silence. This time, it wasn't uncomfortable. The aliens were finally understanding the true picture of galactic civilization. We owe you an apology, Velnari said finally. We called you primitive, but you've been protecting us all along. You don't need to apologize, Kiwan said with a gentle smile. You weren't trying to be mean. You just didn't see the whole picture. But we should have looked deeper, Thrumax said. We judged you by your surface instead of understanding your purpose. Quickstall's metal arms moved in what might have been a gesture of respect. We thought violence was always wrong, but you showed us that the right kind of pressure at the right time can create life instead of destroying it. So-Min spoke from the screen. The most important thing about sharks is that they never take more than the ocean can give. They're powerful, but they use that power responsibly. Just like humans should, Kiwan agreed. We have the ability to be dangerous, but we choose to use that ability to protect rather than destroy. The plant alien rustled its leaves slowly. So what happens now? How do we move forward with this new understanding? Kiwan thought for a moment. I think we start by changing how we see each other. Instead of civilized species and Deathworlders, maybe we can just be different species with different roles. Like different types of sharks, Soman added from the screen. Each one important in its own way. Yes, Kiwan said. Some species create beauty and art. Some species explore and discover. Some species protect and defend. All of these roles are necessary for a healthy galaxy. Velnari's crystal body began to glow with warm, steady light. I would like to propose something. Instead of the Galactic Cooperation Summit, perhaps we should call this the Galactic Balance Conference. I like that, said Thrumax. It recognizes that we all have different but equally important parts to play. The fuzzy ball alien bounced with excitement. And maybe we can learn from each other. Maybe some of our young people who are bored with safe lives could work with human explorers. And maybe some humans who are tired of always fighting could visit our peaceful worlds to rest and create art, suggested the machine alien. Kiwan felt a warm feeling spread through his chest. The aliens weren't looking at him with pity or condescension anymore. They were looking at him with respect and understanding. Somin, Kiwan called to the screen. What would you say is the most important lesson about sharks? Somin smiled, brightly. That they're not monsters or killers, they're guardians. They've been keeping Earth's oceans alive for 400 million years, and they'll keep doing it for millions more, as long as we let them. Kiwan turned to face all the aliens in the room, and humans will keep being the galaxy's guardians, as long as we remember that our strength is meant to protect, not destroy. Like sharks, Velnari said with understanding. Exactly like sharks, Kiwan agreed. As the summit continued over the following days, everything changed. The aliens no longer spoke of helping humans become more civilized. Instead, they talked about how different species could work together to keep the galaxy balanced and healthy. They established new laws, recognizing that every species had value, whether they were creators, explorers, or protectors. They called it the shark principle, the understanding that apparent predators might actually be guardians in disguise. Most importantly, they agreed that the galaxy needed its sharks. And humanity, they realized, was proud to be among them. Kiwan's final words at the summit became famous throughout the galaxy. You spent so long congratulating yourselves on evolving beyond violence that you forgot violence's true purpose, protecting what matters most. The aliens sat in silence for several long minutes. Some stared at the screen showing healthy and dead coral reefs. Others looked at each other with confused expressions. Their entire understanding of predators and violence was beginning to crack like ice under warm sun. Kiwan could see the change happening in their faces. He decided it was time to speak. Somin has shown you what sharks really do in Earth's oceans, Kiwan said, stepping closer to the center of the room. But I want to tell you what Earth itself taught humans. Velnari's crystal body flickered with uncertain colors. What do you mean? You called us Deathworlders like it was a bad thing, Kiwan explained. You said our violent planet made us primitive and aggressive, but you only saw half the truth. Quixtal's metal arms clicked nervously. What is the other half? Kiwan gestured to the screen where Somin was still visible. Somin, can you tell them how humans learned to make medicine? Somin nodded enthusiastically. Oh, that's a great example. Humans learned many medical techniques by watching how animals heal themselves. We studied how sharks can heal from terrible wounds without getting infections. We learned how lizards can regrow lost tails. We watched how some animals eat specific plants when they feel sick. Our violent world taught us how to save lives, Kiwan said. Every predator on Earth also taught us something valuable. We learned to be fast by watching cheetahs. We learned to be strong by watching bears. We learned to work together by watching wolves. The fuzzy ball alien bounced slightly. But surely you also learned to be violent from these creatures. Yes, Kiwan admitted. We learned that too. But we learned something else that you might have missed. What? Asked Thrumax. We learned when to use violence and when not to use it, Kiwan said. Just like sharks, humans learn to be precise. We learned that fighting should have a purpose. Kiwan walked to the control panel and brought up new images on the screen. They showed human rescue workers saving people from floods, earthquakes, and storms. Our dangerous planet taught us to be survivors, Kiwan explained. But it also taught us to be protectors. When disasters happen, humans don't run away. We run toward the danger to help others. The images changed to show human doctors working in war zones, human firefighters running into burning buildings, and human coast guards rescuing people from sinking ships. Every day, humans risk their lives to save others, Kiwan continued. Our primitive nature makes us willing to face danger when others need help. Velnari's voice was quieter now. But you still fight wars. You still have weapons. Yes, we do, Kiwan agreed. But tell me something. In your peaceful civilizations, what happens when someone threatens you? The aliens looked at each other uncomfortably. Well, Thrumac said slowly, it rarely happens. Most species in our area of the galaxy are peaceful. But what if it did happen? Kiwan pressed. What if a violent species attacked your crystal cities? What if space pirates threatened your gas cloud worlds? What would you do? The room fell silent. The aliens had no good answer. Quickstall finally spoke. We would call for help. From who? Kiwan asked. From species that could fight? Quickstall admitted quietly. You mean species like humans? Kiwan asked. The truth hung in the air like a heavy cloud. All the aliens began to understand something they had never thought about before. So Min, Kiwan said, can you tell our friends about the other role sharks play in the ocean? So Min smiled and changed the video to show a shark swimming near a coral reef. Sharks don't just hunt sick fish and control populations. They also protect the reefs from outside threats. The video showed a group of large fish trying to destroy the coral. Suddenly, sharks appeared and chased the destructive fish away. Many fish that eat coral and destroy reefs are afraid of sharks, So Min explained. Just having sharks nearby keeps these destructive species away from the healthy reefs. Sharks are like guards, Kiwan said to the aliens. They patrol the oceans and keep dangerous things away from the places where peaceful fish live. Velnari's crystal body began to glow with a strange light. Are you saying that humans are like galactic sharks? In a way, yes, Kiwan said. Think about it. Who do you call when space pirates attack trade routes? Who explores the dangerous parts of space that your peaceful species avoid? Who makes first contact with aggressive alien species? The plant alien's leaves rustled nervously. Usually, species like yours. Deathworlders. Exactly, Kiwan said. You call us primitive, but you depend on us. We do the dangerous jobs that your civilized species can't or won't do. Thrumax's purple cloud grew darker. But we evolved beyond violence. We became better than that. Did you? Kiwan asked. Or did you just become lucky enough to let others handle the violent parts of life for you? Kiwan brought up new images on the screen. They showed human space stations guarding trade routes, human exploration ships venturing into unknown regions, and human diplomats meeting with hostile alien species. While you built beautiful crystal cities, humans were out here keeping the space lanes safe, Kiwan said. While you created art with pure thought, humans were exploring dangerous worlds to find new resources. While you grew peaceful gardens, humans were making contact with aggressive species and teaching them to be peaceful. The aliens stared at the images. They were seeing their galaxy from a completely different perspective. Every time a new aggressive species is discovered, who goes to meet them first? Kiwan asked. Not the crystal people who shatter easily, not the gas clouds who can't defend themselves, not the plant people who can't fight. You send species like humans. So Min spoke from the screen. It's just like in the ocean. The peaceful fish get to live safely because sharks handle the dangerous fish. We keep the galaxy balanced, Kiwan continued. We face the threats so you don't have to. We do the violent work so you can stay peaceful. Quickstall's metal arms moved slowly. But violence is wrong. Fighting is primitive. Is it? Kiwan asked. When a shark protects a reef by chasing away destructive fish, is that wrong? When a human soldier protects a peaceful planet from space pirates, Is that primitive? The aliens had no answer. You eliminated predators from your worlds and called yourselves advanced, Kiwan said. But what you really did was make yourselves helpless. You became like a reef with no sharks to protect it. Felnari's crystal body was now glowing with many different colors, showing her confusion and growing understanding. So when we called you Deathworlders, you were insulting the very species that makes your peaceful existence possible. Kiwan finished. The room was completely quiet except for the soft sounds of the ship's engines. Every alien was thinking about what Kiwan had said. So Min, Kiwan called to the screen, what happens to an ocean when you remove all the sharks? It dies, Somin said simply. The whole system collapses and everything in it dies. Kiwan looked around the room at all the alien faces. What do you think happens to a galaxy when you remove all the Deathworlders? The aliens looked at each other with new understanding and growing fear. They were beginning to realize that their peaceful civilizations existed in a delicate balance, and species like humans were the guardians keeping that balance stable. We never thought about it that way, whispered the fuzzy ball alien. Most peaceful species don't, Kiwan said gently. Just like most fish don't think about sharks until the sharks are gone and their whole world falls apart. Thrumax's purple cloud swirled slowly. Are you saying we need you? Kiwan smiled. I'm saying we need each other. You create beautiful things and advance knowledge and art. We protect those things from being destroyed. Together we keep the galaxy healthy, like sharks and fish, Velnari said quietly. Exactly like sharks and fish, Kiwan agreed. The next morning, Kiwan walked into the main presentation hall. Today, each alien species would show off their greatest achievements. The room was even bigger than yesterday's meeting room. Holographic screens floated in the air ready to display images and videos from different worlds. Kiwan sat in the human section and watched as the aliens prepared their presentations. He still felt angry about yesterday, but he tried to stay calm. Maybe today would be different. Maybe the aliens would see that humans had good things to offer too. Velnari went first. The crystal alien walked to the center of the room, and her body began to glow with soft light. The holographic screen showed images of her homeworld. Behold the crystal cities, Velnari said proudly. The screen showed massive cities made entirely of crystal. The buildings floated in the air without any support. Beautiful music played as the crystals moved and changed colors. Our cities are alive. They grow and change based on our emotions and thoughts. We have no crime, no hunger, no war. Everyone lives in perfect harmony. The other aliens made sounds of approval. The images were truly beautiful. Kiwan had to admit that the crystal cities were amazing. We achieved this through meditation and spiritual growth, Belnari continued. We learned that violence and aggression are diseases of the mind. Once we cured ourselves of these diseases, we became truly civilized. Next came Thrumax. The purple gas cloud expanded to fill more of the room. The screen showed a world that looked empty at first, but then Kiwan saw the truth. The entire planet was alive with gas clouds like Thrumax floating and dancing through the air. My people create art with pure thought, Thrumax said. Suddenly, the gas cloud began to form shapes, flowers, animals, abstract patterns that moved and flowed like living paintings. We need no physical tools, no materials that must be taken from other creatures. Our art comes from our souls and hurts no one. Other aliens began their presentations. The machine people showed cities where robots and computers worked together to build incredible structures without ever destroying anything. The plant people demonstrated how they grew their technology from living trees and flowers. Each presentation was more impressive than the last. Kiwan began to feel smaller and smaller. How could humans compete with species that could create cities with their thoughts or grow spaceships from seeds? Finally, it was Kiwan's turn. He walked to the center of the room, feeling all eyes on him. The holographic screens came to life, showing images of Earth. This is Earth, Kiwan said, trying to sound confident. Humans have built great cities too. The screens showed New York, Tokyo, and other major cities. We have created art, music, and literature that tells the stories of our people. Some aliens nodded politely, but Kiwan could see they were not impressed. Human cities looked crude compared to floating crystal palaces or cities grown from living plants. We have also developed medicine that helps people live longer, healthier lives, Kiwan continued. We have sent people to our moon and robots to other planets. We are learning to explore the stars just like you. Quixtal's metal arms clicked, impatiently. Yes, these are fine achievements for a young species, but tell us about your wars, human. Tell us about your weapons. Kiwan felt his face get hot. Humans have had conflicts, yes, but we are learning to... Learning, interrupted the fuzzy ball alien. Your species is still fighting wars right now. We have observed your planet. You have armies and weapons that could destroy your entire world. That is different, Kiwan said. We are working to make peace. Velnari's crystal body flashed red. Different? How is it different? My people ended all wars 10,000 years ago. We realized that intelligent beings should not fight each other. Thrumax pulsed darker. The problem is your violent world, human. Your planet made you into fighters instead of thinkers. You cannot help being aggressive because your world taught you to be that way. The plant alien spoke in a voice like rustling leaves. Show us your oceans, human. Show us these sharks that swim in your waters. Kiwan hesitated, but he pressed a button on his control device. The screens now showed underwater footage of Earth's oceans. Sharks swam across the displays, great whites, hammerheads, tiger sharks. Their powerful bodies moved through the water with deadly grace. The aliens made sounds of horror and disgust. Look at those teeth, gasped a small alien that looked like a walking crystal. Those creatures are built for killing. How can you live on a world with such monsters? Asked another alien. They look like swimming nightmares. Quixtal pointed at the screen with one of his metal arms. This is exactly what we mean. These beasts exist only to hunt and kill other sea creatures. No civilized world would allow such horrible predators to exist. They are not horrible, Kiwan started to say. Not horrible? Velnari's voice rose higher, like wind chimes in a storm. Look at them. They are death machines with fins. Any intelligent species would remove such dangerous animals from their world immediately. The fuzzy ball alien bounced up and down excitedly. We studied your shark attacks, human. These monsters kill your own people. They bite swimmers and surfers. Why do you allow this? The numbers are actually very small, Kiwan tried to explain. Even one death is too many, Thrumax boomed. My people would never tolerate predators that could harm us. We eliminated all dangerous creatures from our world millions of years ago. A new alien spoke up. It looked like a giant butterfly made of metal. On our world, we made all predators into gentle plant eaters. Now our former meat eaters live peacefully, eating fruits and vegetables. This is what advanced species do. Exactly, said Quixtal. We solve problems instead of living with them. You humans just accept that dangerous beasts live in your oceans. This shows that you are still primitive. Kiwan felt surrounded. Every alien in the room was staring at him like he was a child who didn't understand basic safety. But sharks are not just killers, he began. Of course they are. Velnari cut him off. We have seen the videos. Sharks attack seals, fish, dolphins, even whales. They are pure predators with no other purpose except to spread death through your oceans. The plant alien rustled its leaves sadly. This is why Deathworlders cannot truly join civilized society. They are too used to violence. They think it is normal for creatures to hunt and kill each other. We feel sorry for you, human, said a new alien that looked like a walking tree trunk. You grew up on a world where murder is part of nature. Of course you think this is acceptable. You do not know any better. Thrumax's gas cloud swirled thoughtfully. Perhaps we can help humanity evolve beyond this primitive thinking. We could teach you how to make your sharks peaceful. We could show you how to eliminate predators from your world. Then your oceans would be safe, added Velnari. Your people could swim without fear. You could finally begin to become truly civilized. All the aliens began talking at once. offering suggestions for how to fix Earth's oceans. They talked about removing all sharks, changing them into plant eaters, or putting them in special areas where they could not hurt anything. Kiwan listened to their chatter and felt a deep sadness. These aliens thought they were being kind, but they did not understand anything about Earth or its creatures. They saw sharks as monsters because they only looked at the surface. "You want to remove all the sharks from Earth's oceans?" Kiwan asked quietly. "Of course," said Quixtal. "It is the logical thing to do. Remove the danger, and your world becomes safer." "Yes," agreed the fuzzy ball alien. "Then humans can finally start to become peaceful like the rest of us." Kiwan looked around the room at all the alien faces staring at him. They really believed they were trying to help. They had no idea what they were suggesting. "I think," Kiwan said slowly, "I need to call a friend of mine, someone who knows much more about sharks than I do." "Another human?" Velnari asked, with what sounded like pity in her voice. "Yes," Kiwan said. "Her name is Somin. She studies ocean life on Earth. Maybe she can explain sharks better than I can." The aliens looked at each other. Some made sounds that might have been gentle laughter. "Very well," Thromax said kindly. "Let your friend try to defend these ocean monsters. But I do not think she will change our minds. Predators are predators no matter what world they come from." Kiwan smiled for the second time since the summit began. "We'll see about that." Kiwan stood at the large window of the spaceship Harmony and looked out at the stars. He had never seen so many different alien ships in one place before. Each ship looked completely different from the others. Some were made of crystal that sparkled like diamonds. Others looked like clouds of gas floating in space. A few ships appeared to be made of metal that moved and changed shape by itself. Today was the first day of the Galactic Cooperation Summit. 12 different alien species had come together to talk about working as a team in space. Kiwan was the human representative. He was a scientist who studied alien life forms and tried to help different species understand each other. The meeting room inside the Harmony was huge. It had been built specially for this day. The ceiling was clear so everyone could see the stars above. Around the room there were different types of seats and spaces for each alien species. Kiwan walked into the room and saw that most of the aliens had already arrived. Near the window, a tall creature made of blue crystal was talking to others. This was Velnari from the Crystal Worlds. Her body was like a living gem that caught the light and threw rainbows across the room. When she spoke, her voice sounded like wind chimes. "Our people learned long ago that fighting is useless," Velnari was saying to a group of smaller aliens. "We found peace through meditation and connecting with our crystal matrices. We have not had a war for over 10,000 years. Floating above them was Thrumax, who looked like a cloud of purple gas with tiny lights sparkling inside. Thrumax had no solid body at all. The gas cloud pulsed and changed colors when it talked. "War is something only primitive species do," Thrumax said in a voice that sounded like wind blowing through trees. "My people evolved beyond having physical bodies. We create art and music with our thoughts alone. We have no need for violence because we have no physical form to protect." Kiwan listened as he found his seat. The aliens seemed very proud of themselves. They kept talking about how advanced and civilized they were. A creature with 6 arms and metal skin turned to look at Kiwan. This was Quixtal, an engineer from the machine worlds. His body was covered in tools that moved by themselves. "Ah, the human has arrived," Quixtal said, in a voice that buzzed like electricity. "Tell us, human, what makes your species special? What great achievements can you share with us civilized beings?" Kiwan felt all eyes in the room turn to him. Some aliens had regular eyes like humans. Others had sensors or crystals that served as eyes. A few had no visible eyes at all but seemed to be watching him anyway. "Well," Kiwan began, "humans have done many things. We have explored space, created art, developed medicine to help sick people, and built cities all over our planet." Velnari made a sound like gentle music. "That is nice. But what about your world itself? We have heard stories about Earth. They Say it is a very dangerous place. Dangerous? Kiwan asked. Thromax's purple cloud grew darker. Yes, we know about Earth. It is what we call a death world. Your planet is full of creatures that kill and eat each other. Your weather can destroy entire cities. Your ground shakes and mountains explode with fire. Other aliens began to nod, or make sounds of agreement. Kiwan realized they were all talking about him like he wasn't there. The poor humans, said a small alien that looked like a fuzzy ball with tentacles. They come from such a violent place. No wonder they are still so primitive. Primitive? Kiwan said, feeling his face get warm. Quixtal's metal arms clicked as they moved. Do not be upset, human. It is not your fault. When a species grows up on a death world, they cannot help but be violent and simple. Your people still fight wars, correct? You still have predators on your world that hunt and kill other animals? Yes, but, Kiwan started to say. You see? Velnari interrupted. My people eliminated all predators from our worlds millions of years ago. We learned that truly advanced civilizations do not need such crude relationships between species. We live in harmony with all life. A new alien spoke up. It looked like a tree made of silver metal. On our world, we grow all our food in perfect gardens. No animal needs to die to feed another. This is how intelligent species should live. Thromax pulsed brighter. Exactly. When my people evolved beyond physical form, we also evolved beyond the need for violence. We do not eat other beings. We do not fight over territory. We simply exist in peace and create beautiful things. Kiwan tried to speak again. But humans have also created beautiful things. We have music, art, literature. Yes, yes, Quixtal said, waving two of his metal arms. But you also have armies and weapons. You have creatures in your oceans that exist only to kill other creatures. What do you call them, sharks? Several aliens made sounds of disgust. Horrible beasts, said the fuzzy ball alien. We have studied your sharks. They are like swimming nightmares with teeth. How can any intelligent species live on a world with such monsters? Velnari's crystal body flashed with different colors. This is exactly what I mean. Truly civilized. Species learn to live without such terrible predators. We either make them gentle or remove them completely. The fact that humans still swim in waters with these sharks shows how far behind you are in evolution. Kiwan felt his heart beating faster. These aliens were treating humans like they were stupid children who didn't know any better. Perhaps, Thromax said in a voice that sounded almost kind, humans will evolve beyond their violent nature in time. Give them a few million years, and maybe they will learn to be peaceful like the rest of us. The other aliens made sounds of agreement. Some even seemed to feel sorry for Kiwan. The poor Deathworlders, whispered one alien to another. They cannot help being the way they are. Kiwan looked around the room. Every alien species here seemed to think they were better than humans. They acted like humans were dangerous, stupid, or both. They talked about peace and civilization, but they were being very unkind to him right now. I think, Kiwan said slowly, you might not understand humans as well as you think you do. Quixtal's metal head tilted to one side. Oh, and what do we not understand, little Deathworlder? Kiwan thought about his friend So-Min, who was back on Earth studying ocean life. He thought about all the things she had taught him about sharks and other predators. Maybe it was time these civilized aliens learned something new. You might not understand what sharks really do, Kiwan said. The aliens looked at each other. Some made sounds that might have been laughter. We know what sharks do, Velnari said. They kill and eat other fish. They are violent predators that make your oceans dangerous. What else is there to understand? Kiwan smiled for the first time since entering the room. A lot more than you think.